Welcome to a new episode on the Narc Whisperer. Today we dive into the complex world of narcissism. Remember, not all narcissists are created equally. In the labyrinth of human personalities, there's a particular maze that catches our attention: narcissism. It's not just a simple love for oneself, but a multifaceted psychological phenomenon that has intrigued scholars, psychologists, and the common man alike. Narcissism, in its core, is an inflated sense of one's importance, a deep need for excessive attention and admiration, and often a lack of empathy for others. But behind this seemingly straightforward definition lie various shades, various forms. Narcissism isn't a one-size-fits-all concept, and today we're going to explore just that. Like the colors of a rainbow, narcissism presents itself in different hues. Each type is a unique blend of traits, behaviors, and patterns, making the individuals who possess them a fascinating study. We broadly categorize narcissists into four main types: the Grandiose Narcissist, the Vulnerable Narcissist, the Malignant Narcissist, and the Covert Narcissist. The Grandiose Narcissist is the one you might be most familiar with. They're the life of the party, the charismatic leader, the one who's always in the spotlight. Then there's the Vulnerable Narcissist, often seen as the victim, the misunderstood soul, craving for recognition and validation. On the darker side of the spectrum, we have the Malignant Narcissist, a dangerous blend of narcissism and antisocial behavior capable of causing significant harm. Lastly, the Covert Narcissist, the wolf in sheep's clothing, the one who hides their narcissism behind a mask of humility and modesty. As we journey through this episode, we'll delve deeper into each type, unpacking their traits, behaviors, and the ways they interact with the world around them. We'll explore the intricate mechanisms that drive them and the impacts they leave on their surroundings. So brace yourselves for an enlightening journey into the world of narcissism. Remember, understanding is the first step towards compassion and empathy. Stick around as we delve into the various types of narcissism, as all narcissists are not created equally. Meet the Grandiose Narcissist, the one who loves to be in the spotlight. These individuals are the embodiment of the term narcissist, as commonly understood by many. They are the flamboyant, the boisterous, the ones who demand your attention and often get it. A grandiose narcissist is usually characterized by an inflated sense of self-importance. They believe they are unique and superior, and they expect others to recognize this superiority. They are the ones who walk into a room and command it, not with subtlety, but with a dazzling display of self-assuredness and charm. They are conversation dominators, often turning the spotlight onto themselves, their achievements, their grand plans. Their self-perception is often far removed from reality. They may see themselves as exceptionally talented, intelligent, or attractive, even when evidence suggests otherwise. This overestimation of self can lead to unrealistic goals and expectations, setting themselves up for failure and disappointment. But remember, in their minds, they never fail. It's always someone else's fault. Moreover, they are masters of manipulation. They know how to play on people's emotions to get what they want, often disregarding the feelings and needs of others. They lack empathy and see people as tools to further their own goals. An example might be your boss who never misses an opportunity to tout their achievements, often taking credit for the work of others. Or that friend who always manages to turn the conversation back to themselves, no matter the topic. They're the ones who always need to be the best, the brightest, the most successful. However, beneath this grandiose exterior often lies a fragile self-esteem. They depend heavily on the admiration and validation of others to maintain their inflated self-image. Criticism or perceived slights can lead to anger, hostility, or even aggressive behavior. Their inflated sense of self-importance is their signature move. Yet, it is essential to remember that behind this grandiosity, there often lies a deeply insecure individual, using grandeur as a shield against the world. So, the next time you encounter a grandiose narcissist, remember, what you see is rarely what you get. Now, let's explore the Vulnerable Narcissist, a more sensitive character. The Vulnerable Narcissist, sometimes referred to as the Covert Narcissist, is a personality type that is less conspicuous than their grandiose counterpart, yet equally as impactful. Unlike the Grandiose Narcissist who radiates an inflated sense of self-importance, the Vulnerable Narcissist often appears reserved, insecure, and sensitive. They are the proverbial wolves in sheep's clothing. Vulnerable narcissists harbor a deep-seated sense of inadequacy, which they hide behind a facade of humility. They can appear anxious, shy, and socially awkward. However, underneath this seemingly harmless exterior lies a desperate need for validation and affirmation. These individuals have a tendency to play the victim card, often blaming others for their failings and shortcomings. They may display passive-aggressive tendencies, becoming resentful when they feel they are not receiving the recognition they believe they deserve. They are constantly seeking reassurance, yet they never seem satisfied with the praise they receive, creating a never-ending cycle of neediness. In addition to their constant need for validation, vulnerable narcissists are often hypersensitive to criticism. Even the slightest hint of disapproval can trigger feelings of anger, shame, and humiliation. They may react with defensiveness, denial, or even aggression. This sensitivity to criticism often leads to a fear of rejection, causing them to avoid situations where they could potentially be judged or criticized. One classic example of a vulnerable narcissist might be the coworker who is always seeking praise for their work, but becomes defensive and argumentative when given constructive feedback. Or the friend who always plays the victim, never taking responsibility for their actions and instead blaming others for their problems. It's important to remember that, like all forms of narcissism, vulnerable narcissism is not simply about having a big ego. It is a complex and deeply ingrained pattern of behavior that can have a significant impact on relationships and interactions. Their sensitivity and defensiveness are the keys to their narcissism. Up next is the malignant narcissist, a more sinister type. Picture a character who is not just self-absorbed, but also manipulative, aggressive, and often wreaks havoc on those around them. That, in essence, is the malignant narcissist. This type of narcissist is a blend of the grandiose and vulnerable types, but with an added layer of antisocial behavior. One of the defining characteristics of malignant narcissists is their lack of empathy. They are incapable of understanding or sharing the feelings of others. This lack of empathy allows them to exploit and manipulate others without feeling any guilt or remorse. In person, malignant narcissists often come across as charming and charismatic. They have a knack for drawing people in, making them feel special, only to use them for their own gains later. They're master manipulators, using a combination of flattery, deceit, and intimidation to control others. Another trait that sets malignant narcissists apart is their aggression. Unlike other types of narcissists who may be more passive-aggressive, malignant narcissists are not afraid to be openly hostile. They may resort to bullying, threats, or even physical violence to get their way. Moreover, they have a strong sense of entitlement. They believe they are superior to others and deserve special treatment. Any attempt to challenge their authority or deny them what they believe they deserve can trigger intense anger and retribution. Malignant narcissists are also known for their grandiosity. They have an inflated sense of their own importance and abilities. They often exaggerate their achievements and talents, and they're obsessed with fantasies of unlimited success, power, and brilliance. If you've ever come across someone who seems to thrive on conflict and drama, who leaves a trail of emotional destruction wherever they go, you might have encountered a malignant narcissist. They're the type to create chaos, then sit back and enjoy the show, completely indifferent to the pain and suffering they've caused. Their destructive and harmful nature differentiates them from the rest. They are not just self-centered, they are dangerous, capable of inflicting severe psychological and sometimes physical harm on others. They are the embodiment of narcissism at its most destructive. Lastly, we have the covert narcissist, often the hardest to spot. These individuals are a paradox, a puzzle wrapped in a mystery and shrouded in a conundrum. Unlike their overt counterparts, who are typically brash and grandiose, covert narcissists are more subtle and reserved in their approach. Covert narcissists are masters of disguise. They present themselves as humble, self-effacing, and often play the victim. They are the wolf in sheep's clothing, hiding their true narcissistic tendencies under a veil of false humility. But don't be fooled. This is merely a facade, a clever ruse to gain sympathy and attention. Delving deeper into their traits, you'll notice that covert narcissists are hypersensitive to criticism. They may appear to shrug it off, but in reality, they harbor a deep resentment towards anyone who dares to critique them. They are also prone to passive-aggressive behavior, subtly expressing their anger without directly confronting the source of their frustration. In addition, covert narcissists are notorious for their manipulation tactics. They are often skilled at gaslighting, a psychological maneuver designed to make you question your own sanity. They will twist and turn the truth, making you feel guilty for things you haven't done and doubting your own perceptions. An example of a covert narcissist might be a friend who always plays the victim, constantly seeking sympathy and validation from others. They might often complain about how they're always overlooked or treated unfairly, despite their selfless acts. This creates a sense of guilt and obligation in others, leading them to give the narcissist the attention and admiration they crave. Covert narcissists can be particularly damaging because their behavior is so hard to detect. They thrive on the confusion they create, and by the time you realize what's happening, they've already woven their web of manipulation around you. Their subtle yet manipulative ways may make them difficult to identify, but with knowledge and understanding, you can learn to spot the signs and protect yourself from their harmful influence. Now that we've met all the types, let's summarize what we've learned today. Our journey into the realm of narcissism has introduced us to a diverse cast of characters, each with their unique ways of influencing the world around them. We started with the Grandiose Narcissist, the classic portrayal of narcissism that most of us are familiar with. This is the person who is obsessed with their own grandeur, their achievements, and their superiority over others. They are often charismatic, charming, and can be quite persuasive, but their motivation is always self-centered, fueled by a deep-seated need for admiration and validation. Next, we encountered the Vulnerable Narcissist, a more subtle yet equally damaging type. They may appear insecure and sensitive, but beneath that facade lies a self-absorption that is as profound as the Grandiose Narcissist. Their narcissism is driven by feelings of inadequacy and a pervasive fear of criticism, which they guard against with a shell of self-pity and victimhood. Our exploration then led us to the Malignant Narcissist, a dangerous blend of narcissism, antisocial behavior, and aggression. They wield their narcissism like a weapon, causing harm and chaos wherever they go. Their lack of empathy and disregard for others' rights make them a destructive force in any setting. Finally, we delved into the world of the Covert Narcissist, the most insidious of all. They are masters of disguise, hiding their narcissism behind a mask of humility and self-deprecation. But make no mistake, their seemingly modest demeanor is just another manipulation tactic, designed to elicit sympathy and admiration from others. Each type of narcissist has their unique traits, but they all share a common core of excessive self-focus, lack of empathy, and a relentless pursuit of admiration and validation. Understanding these types is not about labeling or judging, but about gaining insight to navigate our interactions better and protect our mental and emotional well-being. Remember, understanding is the first step to dealing with narcissists. That brings us to the end of our journey through the complex world of narcissism. We've navigated through the labyrinth of the narcissist's mind, unveiling the various types and their intricate patterns of behavior. Each type, as we've learned, presents itself uniquely, creating a kaleidoscope of personalities under the umbrella of narcissism. We started our exploration with the Grandiose Narcissist, the flamboyant show-offs who thrive on being the center of attention. Their exaggerated sense of self-importance and entitlement often blinds them to the needs and feelings of others. Then, we delved into the world of the Vulnerable Narcissist, those who mask their grandiosity with a facade of insecurity and victimhood. They may not be as outwardly boastful, but their narcissism runs just as deep, often leading to manipulative behaviors to gain sympathy and attention. We moved on to the Malignant Narcissist, a dangerous combination of narcissism, antisocial behavior, aggression, and sadism. They are the ones who often cause the most harm, leaving a trail of emotional destruction in their wake. Next, we discovered the Covert Narcissist, the wolves in sheep's clothing. They hide their narcissism behind a mask of humility, often playing the role of the misunderstood genius or the altruist, while still harboring a deep-seated sense of superiority and entitlement. Finally, we summarized these types, highlighting the importance of understanding and recognizing these patterns. Knowledge is power, and by understanding narcissism, we equip ourselves with the tools to navigate relationships and interactions more effectively and safely. Our journey, however, doesn't end here. The field of psychology is ever evolving, and our understanding of narcissism continues to grow. There's always more to learn, more to understand. So I invite you to continue this exploration with me. If you found this content valuable, I urge you to join our community here on the Narc Whisperer. Subscribe to our channel to stay updated with our latest videos. Hit the like button if you've gained some insights today, and share this video with those who might benefit from it. Your engagement helps us reach more people, spreading awareness and understanding, one video at a time. Remember, not all narcissists are created equally. Thank you for joining us on the Narc Whisperer. Don't forget to subscribe, like, and share. Until next time, stay aware and stay safe.